Greetings, everyone. It is I, Shad Talks Graps, and we are back with the Sunday Spotlight, our weekly television show to recap everything going on in professional wrestling. Not a television show, but we do make it seem like we on TV over here. Um, we coming back with great topics, man. It's been an eventful week for professional wrestling. A lot happening on WWE, a lot happening on AEW, a lot happening on the Indies in Japan. This, that, and the third. You see the awesome topics right next to me, but we also got an awesome cast with me as well. First off, we gonna kick it to the GOAT out in NYC. Megan, how are you? Because it is ladies first. So look.
Yes. I'm doing well. Hope you guys are doing the same. Um, as always, just blessed, highly favored, and just happy to be here.
I respect it. I respect it. My bad. My thing was acting up for a second. Nah, I respect it. We are just to let y'all know we are filming this before Sunday. It is Friday night, and we just finished watching Friday Night SmackDown, which was fun. Um, so we might be talking about that on the show. Who knows? But we also got another prestige person here, someone that usually hosts shows. I'm taking a job from him today. Mr. Clark Taylor, how you doing out there, man?
What's good? I'm stoked to be here. First and foremost, just had to slide in at the last second. It's been a hectic day, but I gotta admit, I was under the impression this was on television, so I'm as confused as anybody when you said that this was not a TV show. I thought it was a network special, cross the board, multi-platform, the whole thing. I don't know. Either way, television, wherever you're watching this, happy to be here. Let's spotlight some stuff, whether it's Sunday, whatever day it is. You know.
For sure. For sure. And we got some topics today, man. We got the first topic at hand for Mr. Clark Taylor, and it is going to a group that we love to review on NXT, man. A unit that is severely underrated. Drizzy broke it down so good this past week. It's on online on Twitter and IG, but it's the Chase U. Uh, if you got beef, don't bring the ruckus. Chase U ain't nothing to mess with. They had quite a week. They had quite a week. And Clark, I want you to tell us why you're spotlighting them and about this week that they had. If I can
Absolutely. So, like,
move
you got it? You want me to do it?
you, hold up.
I got it.
Now I got
Oh,
it. Here you go.
that was my fault.
Go ahead,
Did
do
you
it.
get it? I got it. Okay, now I'll do it.
Nah,
Sorry. I got it. That's my bad. Sorry, I jumped the gun there. But seriously, first and foremost, I got to shout out Drizzy on this one because he did cover it Tuesday night. Chase U, the big victory. They win the tag team belts against Nathan Frazier and Axiom, who had a long reign. It's kind of the second attempt for Chase U, which is interesting because Duke Hudson, we saw earlier, have an attempt alongside Andre Chase. Of course, it's Ridge Holland this time when they pick up the victory. Then we just 48 hours later on Thursday night, checking out Impact. Huge week for the U. Riley Osborne shows up. Huge triple threat. He's in Ultimate X at Emergence, beats Chris Bay and John Schuyler. I mean, huge deal for the U. Obviously, College Football 25 just released last month. Nobody can get enough of it, but it's all about the U right now. And this week, I got to put the spotlight on him because Andre Chase has developed something here that we thought was long dead. I think months ago, not too long ago, and it just continues to rebuild and get better and better at every turn. And everything they've ever done is entertaining, and everybody who goes through there seems to improve, including Thea Hale in the women's division, who continues to pick up victories herself. I think it. I think the future is bright for the U. 100%. I'm a Chase U fan.
yeah, I totally agree with you on that, man. Man, that tag team match they had this past week was good. Um, they the university finally got a win over Fraxium, right? They had that great match that they had initially, but them getting an opportunity and coming back with gold, obviously with a Ridge Holland, but as a unit, getting tag team gold and bringing it back to them is great. But I like what you brought up in regards to what happened on Impact because Riley Osborne is a young man who is super talented, up and coming, and I think him in the X division is going to be entertaining. It's going to be fun to see. And I'm excited to see what he does. Um, and who knows, man? Maybe he might be bringing the X Division title to Chase U as well.
Yeah, I mean, X Division title for Chase U would be off the charts, would it not? That's just something that it, it's interesting because I feel like we've seen a lot of NXT belts over on TNA. It'd be interesting to see that X Division belt on Tuesday nights. That would be absolutely wild.
For sure. Megan, what do you think about just Chase U as a whole?
Um, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't really pay attention to Chase U all too much until the whole scandal with the money situation and the university got sold to Tony D'Angelo and stuff. That's when I was like, okay, like this is pretty interesting. But I think they deserved the title shot. They deserved to have one. And I was rooting for Thea when she had her match against Roxanne Perez, and she was so close in winning. I mean, she was like super close in winning. Um, and just watching her gradually, become the talented wrestler that she is today. The little feud between well, not so much feud, but I guess the little misunderstanding between Riley and Ridge, and how they was kind of insinuating that Ridge wasn't in it fairly, for the right reasons, um, and how they ultimately chose him to be the one that represents Chase U. So Um, yeah, I was a little late to the party when it came down to them, but I like them. They're fun to watch. So I have nothing but good things to say about Chase U.
Absolutely. It
Yeah.
also
No, I
go ahead,
go
sorry.
ahead. My bad.
No, I was just gonna say
No,
it
go
reminds
ahead.
me
You said it
it
first.
reminds me of like the Full Sail days because they were out of school, even though they're not anymore. It's at the Performance Center. It just reminds me of that. Like it fits a developmental brand so perfectly
Yeah.
that I think it's grown
Hmm.
on me because of that. Just like the ethos of the group as a whole. It perfectly fits NXT.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what? It, even to what you said about like college football, I remember when Thea Hale, before she even started, wrestling out the gate when they did vignettes to introduce her, and they did the whole, like where you select you're gonna go to school type of thing that high school athletes do, right? And they picked the hat, and they had like probably fake schools, but let's just say they had like Alabama, Clemson, for Clark, Kansas, right? But she takes the Chase U hat and wears that. I find it funny, and it's entertaining. And man, Andre Chase is a guy who is so good character work wise, but like you forget how good of a like professional wrestler he is sometimes too. Like the dude can
Mhm.
really work, and he's been doing it for quite a while. Like I think he used to be in ROH back in the day too, if I'm not mistaken, right? So it's not like he's not a like some new person in the pro wrestling. He's been in the landscape of pro wrestling for a little while, and he be wearing Jordans. He be wrestling in
Dude,
like fresh J's all the time.
every time I see him, I'm like, he does that spot in a sweater. Like
Yeah.
that has to be just
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
scorching. Like, he
Yeah.
does that one in a sweater. What?
Right. Man, I ain't gonna lie to you though. I kind of want to see Riley Osborne get the X Division title now. I think
I
it'll
mean,
be kind of cool.
That would be kind
honestly,
of dope.
It would be outstanding. It'd be funny to see that much Golden chase you. It would have to set up for Thea Hale, right? You'd think
Yeah.
to have a
Yeah.
run then at the NXT title or at a maybe a knockouts title. Who knows? But at least
Yeah.
a shot.
Ooh, that'd be dope. Her and Jordan Grace would be a fun match, actually. I'm not gonna
Mm.
lie. Thea Hill, I-
You think
that's
she
the
ready for Jordan?
I don't think so. Yeah, I was
yeah,
like,
easily. Maybe not beating her, but I think can have a match with her.
oh, I think she could
Thea
have a match
Hill
for
is
sure.
like, yeah, I don't. I'm not gonna say she's gonna beat Jordan Grace, but I think Thea Hill is criminally underrated as an in-ring wrestler. Like her and
Absolutely.
Roxanne was a really
Oh
good
yeah,
match too.
that's exactly just like I had mentioned on another show when I saw Tatum versus Kalani. I really saw how strong of a wrestler Tatum is, and it's the same thing with Thea. Like there was way too many moments during that match. I really thought Thea was going to walk away with that title, and then it was like at the very end,
Hmm.
Roxanne pulled the rabbit out of her hat, and I think they got to
Yeah.
run that back. But I know that there's a match that they already have set up for a number one contender for the women's title, but I'm hoping sometime in the future they will run that back. If not with Roxanne, then whoever our NXT Women's Champion will be after that match.
It's a good call.
For sure. For
I'm with
sure.
you there.
I like it. Yeah, and a great topic to a topic that I'm not too keen on. I'm not gonna lie to you, Megan. The Terror Twins,
The Terror
I've heard
Twins
as I've heard
terrorizing.
they've been called. Yeah, you know what's crazy? This might sound problematic, but it is what it is. My battle team is called Terrorist. Terrorist, y'all know what a terror is. I write so much I might terrorist. That's my slogan in battle rap. I feel like
Nice.
they
Mm,
trying to steal from me, so it's gonna make me hate them even more. But no, all jokes aside, the Terror Twins are in full effect on Monday Night Raw.
yes,
Rhea Ripley, Damian Priest, if people don't know who that is. And this is the topic that Megan has chose to spotlight. So the floor is yours.
thank you. Um, of course, when you think of the Terror Twins, Rhea Ripley, Damian Priest, you think of the recent betrayals that they both currently dealt with. I mean, they both got ultimately kicked out of Judgment Day. The two original members, the two of the three original members, um, and you know, like they said, there's nothing. I forgot how the saying goes per se. It's a little late, but when you think of a woman scorned, you think of Rhea, and you think of the just the leading up to her and Dirty Dom and Liv ultimately taking Dominique away from Rhea, which that extended to her heart. Like that's something that she ultimately cared about. She cared about him. She went through the whole drama with him and his father and his mother and him getting locked up, and she was there. She was there that whole time with him. Um and then when you think of Damian Priest, I mean Damian Priest, he worked to the bone to get the world title. And just to just think about how Finn plotted and waited and manipulated and schemed for over a year to when he could finally get his get back to Damien, like after having the title with him not once but twice, the tag team titles with him. It just went to show that they didn't really have, it wasn't a family, at least not to Finn. But it was a family to Rhea and Damien, and now that they come to realize that really the only family that they do have is themselves. And so while a lot of people might look at them as bitter, angry, vicious people, I mean, these are people who were hurt by those that they cared about the most. And um, in that aspect, I think we all have dealt with that at some point. So, I'm rooting for them. However they choose to get their payback with Judgment Day, I'm 100% for it. Um, I know that there is a mixed tag match for Berlin, Bastion and Berlin, Damien and Rhea versus Dominique and Liv, which should be really good. I think it's been a couple of years since there was a mixed tag match at a pay per view. Um, and yeah, they gonna finally get their lick back. They gonna get their vengeance. So that's my highlight, well, spotlight of the week is the Terra Twins.
I
I
can't
like
say
it.
I like it, but I
I
can't
do.
say
I
I
have
like
one
it.
question though, and that
Yeah.
is, given the name
All
of the
right.
Terror Twins, is there not a Remy Mommy joke in there
Oh my
somewhere to be
God.
made? Given the name, I'm just saying, is there
A
not a
Remy,
Remy Mommy
a Remy
T-shirt
mommy.
out
There
there
has
to
to
be
be.
made?
There has to be. I'm
The Terror
sure
Twins.
That's
Fat
funny.
Joe is somewhere. Today's price is not yesterday's price. I'm sure he's trying to figure out how he could, make
It
some
hurt.
money off of that.
I don't know if y'all are in tune with like stuff, but like Remy Ma is so back to like battle rap. Is so deep dived into
Yeah.
battle rap now,
Yeah.
and a lot of controversy in battle rap. We can talk
Yeah.
about that after the show.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
it's funny. It's crazy.
No,
I
I was
remember
literally
her
only making
obviously.
a corny Terror Squad joke. I assure you on that. I was not tying that one there for sure. Like,
Yeah, but no, but I do Jordy he's not on the pod today. All right, cool. Bet. We don't gotta worry about Jordy giving all this
you're
Rhea
safe.
glazing and
Yeah.
whatnot. But I do I always thought this was gonna be the route we would get to with them obviously button heads in the heist of a lot of what happened months before. And I knew this was going to be the direction where they would be standing tall amongst each other. They always
Right.
had that brother and sister like relationship where they got a lot of love for each other, but they gonna fight with each other just like you fight with your siblings, right?
Yeah.
So that was always the key to it, and I like it. I like it a lot for both of them, especially Damian Priest. I think Damian Priest works so well as a babyface. I think his
Yeah.
personality is just somebody you want to get behind and root for and whatnot. And it's brought new life to him after losing the belt. So I'm curious to see whenever he gets back to an opportunity to win the belt, because I think it will happen. I think he's having a hell of a year, um, and he's someone they got a lot of trust in, man. So I'm
Mm.
excited. And then Rhea is Rhea. She's the golden goose in the women's division, maybe in women's wrestling in general. She may be the biggest women's star in pro wrestling at the moment. I don't know if anyone can, argue that, or I mean, it could be an argument in pro wrestling, but like she's super over. Her character work has been phenomenal. We know she's a dominant champion when she's had the belt. She never really technically lost her belt, so it's gonna be fun that bash at Berlin. I'm excited for that match. I'm
Yeah.
still rooting for Dom and Liv though.
Mm. Oh, so you a man that likes to lose money.
I don't like to lose money. I like to support
You gonna
love.
lose money.
They love
You
each
gonna
other.
lose money.
I'm happy for
Please.
Dom. He's happy. He's a happy young man. He gets all the
Chicken
chicken
fingers in
tenders.
the video
Apparently that's
games.
I'm gonna tell you right now. Liv is his karma. Liv is his karma. She gonna break that boy's heart.
And if you eat chicken fingers all the time too, you get, that's bloating. That can be tough. Could
That
affect his
man,
stamina.
like honest. All jokes aside, though, like that man really only eats chicken tenders. That's so like odd. I
I kind
don't
of
know. That's
respect.
Childish.
such a
Hey,
chicken.
It's
Usain
so
Bolt broke the
childish.
world record of 20 chicken nuggets, so go figure.
It is
With
so
an untied
childish.
shoe.
I'm gonna need him to grow
Yeah,
up.
grow up, man. Yeah, your palate need
Get
to.
some
Bro, you a
wings.
WWE superstar.
Yeah, wings. I'm a wings guy too. I'm with you there. Let's
Mm.
upgrade.
We
But
have to have that
he's
conversation.
also
Wings or drums? Flats?
Ooh, see,
um
I actually like both. It bothers me when you get one or the other because I'm like, what do they do with the rest of the wing? Like I'd almost prefer the full like places that do the full wing and
Yeah.
trim it. I prefer that because I'm like, what would they do with the rest of the
come to
chicken?
DC, bro.
Like that ain't
You
right.
gotta come to
Like,
DC, man. You
but
go to a carry
which
out.
which bite do I think's better? I'll go flats. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
think the
could
bite's
agree.
better on the flats.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
a
you,
flats
Shad.
guy too.
Yeah.
Flats.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
After the conversation, we're gonna ask dipping sauce because that also
that could be.
determines a lot
I
I'm
about a
weird. I like
person.
blue cheese.
Shad.
I don't eat
I
any
like blue
ranch
cheese,
dressing,
man.
and if I was gonna dip it,
Blue
it
cheese?
might be blue cheese, but I generally like just go just a ton of hot sauce. I might dip it in more wing sauce if anything, and that be my move. But yeah, I don't do much when it comes. I
It
don't do
depends what
ranch.
wing too.
The first time I ever
Yeah,
got food poisoning, I
I
was like a
think it does
fountain of
depend
ranch
on the
dressing,
wing.
so I can't do it anymore. It's
Yeah.
just like a
Yeah,
just a just a
I'm learn
fountain.
I'm learning a lot about y'all. Thank you, Dominique. Thank you.
for sure, for sure.
Honey mustard, by the way.
Honey
Actually,
mustard.
I'm all over honey mustard all day. Yeah.
Honey mustard is amazing.
It is.
All right, we're gonna get to the last spotlight, and then we'll get to the
Oh
weekly
shoot, that's my fault.
split.
I won't do that to you again, Sean. I was trying to help out.
Go
Jumping
ahead,
the
get
gun.
back to it. All right, my pick is a little different than my counterparts here because I'm going overseas, and I'm going to the great country of Japan, where I believe they have some of the most talented professional wrestlers, and they have some of the most talented women's wrestlers in the world. And we talking about stardom, and we're talking about one of my favorite Joshis in pro wrestling, Starlight Kid. Starlight Kid, let me give y'all a little rundown of her. 22 years old, but has been wrestling for about 6 or 7 years now. Started at the young age of 15, has developed so much. We talk about prodigies with Roxanne Perez. This girl is in the same boat as her, a prodigy, one of the coolest aesthetic looking professional wrestlers in Japan. Is heavily influenced with the lucha libre style, but still a lot of incorporations with the Joshi style that they wrestle over there. Has one of the most badass masks out there, and is just a straight hooper, man. Athletic, fast pace, really puts in a lot of work in these matches. And I want to give her the spotlight because right now in Stardom we're having the Grand Prix. A lot of international women from even the states in Japan are having these blocks, kind of like how they're doing with the G1. And she has had a great week. She's had three crazy matches, one against Shuri in a loss, but a amazing match that anybody you have a chance to watch because Shuri is a great wrestler, and also a win over a notable person that we know in AEW, Anna Jay. So she's putting in a lot of work, and I just think this has really been a very solid year for her. She just created a new faction called Neo Genesis, where she's got a super talented other Joshi that y'all may know from. I think she wrestled against. I forgot who she wrestled in against during the Forbidden Door, Azume. Um, but man, I just I like to Drizzy does it a lot obviously with the independents, but I feel like wrestling is such a larger landscape than what we watch on a weekly basis with AEW, with WWE, even TNA. Like I really am starting to appreciate a lot of what we see in Japan, and I've kind of gone in a rabbit hole. Salute to my bro David Sheldon, looking at a lot of like watching a lot of this G1 and then watching a lot of the Grand Prix. And I've been a fan of Starlight Kid for a couple years now. Maybe I think I caught wind of her maybe 2022, and I don't know, like there's something about the character and the talent that she has that I can definitely see her being a superstar in professional wrestling. If you would, implement her in AEW, NXT, or WWE, I think fans would automatically grasp into just how she looks like, just the mask and all of that. And then once you see her actually wrestle, it's in the same, style of I don't know who I would compare it, dude. She's kind of like a little bit of like EO Sky in regards to the high flying ability and the fast pace, but she's kind of got like crazy athleticism, like kind of like how Tiffany Stratton has in a sense. And she would just instantly be a megastar if she was given a bigger light to people if they've seen her on that. But I appreciate seeing these kind of superstars do what they do in Japan, in Stardom, and I hope to see her on the next Forbidden Door. I think there's a lot of, just giving her the opportunity to wrestle in AEW, kind of like how we see with Mina, how we saw with Azume, how we saw with Stephanie Vaquer. I think she would definitely do wonders. There's a lot of cool matches that she could have out in AEW. So Starlight Kid is my spotlight. I hope that she continues to do great in the Grand Prix. And yeah, man, Neo Genesis, they look so cool too, man. They're such a dope looking faction. So
So first off, when I saw that you had Starlight Kid as your spotlight, I had to look her up because I don't watch enough Japanese wrestling, as you mentioned. But
Same.
happy early birthday, Starlight Kid, because it's her
yeah,
23rd birthday in 2 days, which
yep.
freaked me out because I thought it was a typo when I saw born in 2001. You got to be kidding me. And then I watched highlights off the charts. You covered it perfectly stylistically. Lots of names you can mention there. I mean, future is bright for the Starlight Kid. There's no doubt about that.
Not for sure. Yeah, man, it's we have a lot of like young superstars, and it's crazy because like we're all like just seeing the year 2000 on a birth date and seeing it in the 20s.
I thought
Yeah,
it was
It's
I thought it was a typo.
it's kind of
yes.
it's kind of scary to see a little bit. I feel like I'm getting old, but it
I was
is
like,
what it is.
no.
But I like it, man. I like, and that's a big reason why I like watching NXT is because I like catching women these people before they pop off, right? And I like
Right.
to see the progression and the development occur for them, and like it's something that you once you see them, it feels like you're watching like your child like like ride a bike for the first time or something like that when you see them like being able to get the training wheels off and kind of just take off. And I kind of feel like that's going to be the case for her. I think with Stardom, going through a lot of change in the infrastructure of like their roster. Obviously, it's not a secret that Marigold is the promotion that is created by the guy who used to be in Stardom, Rossi. They got heavy ties with WWE, and they took a lot of talented women from Stardom. Julia, who will be seeing the NXT shortly, was the ace over there. She was probably the best woman in Stardom for the last few years.
Mm.
Also, Utami Hayashishita, another young great star, another superstar, and many other women. And now it's kind of a case where they're reshaping a little bit, getting a lot of these girls who are younger and helping them develop and whatnot. Kind of like how it is in New Japan right now too, right?
Yeah.
With a lot of the guys over there. So it's gonna be fun to see. And I think give it like 3 to 5 years. I think Stardom is going to be a force again, and I love that they're working with AEW. I love that Anna Jay is doing the Grand Prix. When I saw that she
Yeah.
was going there, I was like, this is kind of like what she needs because I think Anna Jay is a wrestler that's got potential, right? I think she looks like $1 million,
So much talent.
but I think like she can develop more in ring wise. You
Yeah.
throw in her Japan, they're gonna teach her how to teach her some stuff. And
Oh
I
yeah.
say I'll say one last thing. I did watch Mariah May's interview today on Busted Open. Great interview, and they asked her like just about her time in Japan, and a lot what she said there was so like dope to hear because she said she felt like she became like who she is now as a pro wrestler when she went to Stardom, just the style, the physicality, but like little things like how you command the room, you they don't talk as much there, right? So body language, facial expression, stuff like that. Like a lot of that is what she learned in Japan. So salute to Stardom and salute to Starlight Kid, man. So yeah.
Okay.
All
Absolutely.
all right. Now we got the highlights of the weekend. I feel like I
Yeah.
say this every week to y'all, man. I feel like a lot of stuff has happened this week in pro wrestling. A
Seriously.
lot of stuff. We just got done watching SmackDown. Crazy episode. A lot happened tonight on SmackDown. A lot happened on NXT. A lot happened on AW Dynamite. We are on the road to All In. All In is in about a week,
It's like
8 days
nine
now.
days, 8 days, nine
Yeah.
Yeah,
days.
I mean today's pretty much done. So we got 8 days till All In. Bash at Berlin. This is the end of the summer, but like pro wrestling is definitely doing its thing right now. And yeah, we got some highlights. I don't know who want to go first.
Whoever's ready. I can go if you're ready.
Go ahead, Clark. We're
Okay.
going we
All
can we're
right.
gonna kick it off.
If you need me, I'm ready. Perfect. Mine's a bit of a cop out because a lot of great wrestling stuff happened this week, but I'm going with seriously the year anniversary of NXT off the air over here at Wrestling Republic. Me, Shad, and Driz went a full year on that show. Every Tuesday night, you'd get at least one of the three of us for a whole year, and we're gonna keep it rolling. And it's absolutely my highlight of the week because it was awesome, and we had a blast, and we're gonna keep having a blast just like we do every Sunday night on Spotlight as well. Well, it depends on when we film it, but that's neither here nor there. It's not about that. It's about having a good time, and that's what we've been doing, building a brand, doing all of that in a year. So much fun, all of it. Too many laughs, too many fun shows. It's my highlight of the week because it just I can't put enough of a spotlight on that one. It was too much fun for me.
Oh, listen,
I
I
had
got
to, man.
I gotta say, man, with off the air and just like Wrestling Republic, like for y'all in the comments and fans watching this, like we have such a dope like cast of people, and that's even past off the air. That's with the daily. That's with people that do stuff with the writing, the reviews, like everything, man.
Right.
Like we really, but like as a team, we don't take any days off. This is a 24/7, 365 ordeal with like just ideas running, content being put out there. Like we give y'all a daily every day. We ain't take one off the air off this year
Not
at all.
one.
There may have been some, and then we've given y'all pay-per-view reviews too. So it's definitely been like super fun, man. Like we gave our moments of the year on Tuesday
Yeah.
night, but like it definitely is great to see. And yeah, man, it's great. It's great to review NXT. Like I feel honored that we give its own little like
In a weird way,
homage
it's
of a
such a
show.
it's such a blessing because it's not that I wouldn't pay as much of attention as I do, but just knowing that we're gonna cover it every week, I've paid more attention to NXT than I think I would have over the last year in general, and it's made me enjoy the product more, and I can see the future of WWE in a light that I don't think I would have had we not been doing the show for the last year. Even as big
Right.
of a fan as I am, as much of content as I consume, just the ritual of sitting down and watching it every Tuesday night and getting to familiarize yourself with the roster and everything all the way through, even on off weeks for, you know, with injuries and things like that, new people filling in, knowing the ins and outs
Mhm.
when you're watching every second of every week is just different, and that's been really cool over the last year.
Yeah.
No, for sure. I respect it. I respect it. Yeah, we'll be back this Tuesday too. So, all right,
Yes.
Megan, you want to go next?
Yeah. Well, it's not as, it's not as lighthearted as off the air, but it's important that I highlight the late Alpha and Hawaii. We had heard earlier today that he had passed. Um, and I think it's just a reminder to, to love those as strongly and as as tightly as you can, because um at any given time, they could be gone. And it comes as even a bigger surprise because we had just lost Sika in June, and now both of the Wild Samoans is gone. So um, it just made me like really reflect, like I said, on the importance of those that come before us, listening to their stories, taking in their advice, embracing their journeys, um, just giving our time to them, because you know one day they will be here with us, and in the next minute they will become an ancestor. They won't no longer be here. And I just, watching SmackDown and just watching Roman put, you know the whole beads, I guess, on himself, even for a small period of time, even though this is probably pre-written. It just made that moment seem more surreal, especially after he was first knighted the tribal chief, and his father and his uncle was there, and his father had put it on him for the first time. And just, knowing that they both had left so quickly behind each other, like less than 2 months um, behind each other. And it's just a really sad time. But there's a lot of memories, and there's a legacy that they have built. The whole entire family, the Anawais, the Fatus, the Johnsons, um, and all of the rest. Um, so that even though Alpha and Seeker are no longer here, their story doesn't die. Like their story continues on through their children, through their grandchildren, through their nephews, through their cousins. I mean, like, we know like their story is going to continue on even after we're gone. And it was just a very important thing that happened this week. So that's my highlight. And just a quick condolences to their loved ones and fans and friends, those who are hurting, they're mourning. Just know that they had a whole worldwide of fans all over the world that is feeling that pain as well. And I just hope that they know that they're not alone, that we are there in our thoughts and they're in our prayers, and we'll continue on supporting them. So yeah, that's my highlight of the week.
Beautifully said. Definitely like crazy to just we were literally were like you said mourning um
Sika.
prior
Sika.
like secret months before, and like yeah, the fact that both of their you know transitions to the next life are so close is eerie
Yeah.
and it's
I mean,
sad, but I mean the bloodline runs deep to have a strong family, and yeah, my prayers and condolences go out to everybody
it seriously
affected to
feels
it.
not that long ago, right? They're presenting the lay, the ula fala, I believe it's called, right? The ula
Hmm.
fillet,
I think so.
to Roman at the top of the stage after the I Quit match with
Yeah.
Yep.
Jay.
Yep.
I
Yep.
mean, that feels like not that long ago is the craziest part when you think about it with
Yeah.
both as well, Alpha and Sika, and it's just yeah,
Yeah. And
condolences
you
to
know, and
everything.
when you think of hindsight, just for WrestleMania and The Rock coming out and they putting out the big family tree and like that tree is big, and it's showing all those that had started and all those that are continuing the story or building on to the tree. We wouldn't have ever had guessed that we was going to lose the Wild Samoans like literally months after that.
Yeah,
Like it's just, there's always like little drops, you know. I feel the universe lets you know that these things are, coming or approaching. And sometimes, we're so wrapped up in our own lives that we don't necessarily um, see it. But, hindsight is 2020, as they said. And, you know, um, yeah, it's just appreciate those that you love and care for, and tell them that you love them and tell them that you're thinking about them and and just yeah, just keep that line of communication there,
yeah.
because if it's not them, it could be you. So but yeah, so I didn't mean to
No,
kill the mood or anything,
no, you're good.
but I mean, of course, I could talk about meeting Joe Hendry, which was that was nice, but no, I
I
just
love it.
I just really felt like this message was someone needs to hear it. Someone needs to hear it. So
For sure. Yeah. No. And it's
yeah,
of course, like you said, it happened just today.
yeah,
While we're airing it, so paying respects and condolences to him is important, and beautiful promo video
yes,
talking about his life today was aired on SmackDown as well. So it is great stuff. So I definitely appreciate that highlight of the week from
yeah,
you. I guess it's my turn,
yes.
and I don't know what I'm gonna say, but I guess I'm gonna have to pick something,
See,
and
this
it's
is
hard
why I
because
be
like
wanting to go last. This is why I be wanting to go last because this
yeah,
happened before.
for sure. Nah. Um my highlight of the week happened tonight as well, and it was a tag team match between DIY and the Street Profits for the number one contendership against Fatu and Tommy Tonga next week in Washington DC, where I might have to hit up the Ticketmaster and buy some tickets because pretty crazy episode next Friday. But I this was a match. We always go on the record complaining about how the tag division just doesn't feel like it has a spark to it or whatnot. The bookings have kind of been lazy. There's been a lot of mismatched tag teams. But tonight we get a tag team belt against one of the most historically underrated tag teams in WWE history, the Street Profits. I don't care what anybody says. They're check the resume. Just check the resume. It speaks for itself versus DIY, one of the most historical units in NXT history, two of the best NXT champions in NXT history, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. And oh my God, these guys hooped tonight. This was such a great tag team match. If there's anything to get you invested and give you hope that tag team wrestling is important, watch that match tonight because it felt like I was watching a black and gold takeover match between these two teams. Montez Ford can't go without saying how incredible he is. But Angelo Dawkins, my oh my young man, you deserve your credit tonight because you showed the F out in this match. You reminded people why you are also a factor. It's just not the Montez Ford show. Is also Angelo Dawkins part of that. And look, I spoke about it earlier today on the Daily too, about obviously Lashley, MVP leaving. I feel like the Street Profits have been wasted time for the last year with the whole Pride faction. Course correct it. Throw that away. We don't need to worry about it. If we're gonna get them as a tag team, let's make them feel like the important main stage tag team that they are. I like that they got to have a match with DIY tonight because it's a fresh matchup that we don't get to see on the main roster. And yeah, they pulled the W. They're gonna get a match next week against Fatu and Tommy Tonga, and I'm excited for it because it's gonna be great. And yeah, DIY is also really good too, but I think a lot of people knew that as well. So yeah, kudos to those guys. That was probably the best match I saw on like television this past week out of all like the main stage shows.
I mean, I went on a huge rant this week, and maybe you saw the clip or whatever on Instagram about the state of
Hmm.
tag team wrestling, and I still believe that. But I also asked, what are we doing with the Street Profits? And they basically told me to shut up tonight, which I was like, okay, that's awesome. Like, I mean, the Profits looked outstanding. So maybe we're doing something right now,
Yeah.
or at least on the right track. I asked politely for, can we get matches, not for the titles, but that matter between tag teams, and
Yeah,
ask and you shall receive, I guess,
True.
right.
occasionally. You know
It's
what I
true
mean?
because
Yeah,
I actually Montez was actually my highlight last week,
Yes.
and same thing. I just wanted the Street Profits to profit. Like I wanted them to have an actual chance at the tag team titles. And look, I may have been wrong about Jacob and Roman. I think Jacob definitely proved I am not working with that jerk over there. So I would like to hope that at least maybe I'm right about, with Jacob being injured, Tangaloa being injured. Tamatanga can't defend the titles by himself. So I'm hoping that that's a shoe in for the Street Profits. I'm
yeah.
hoping. It's been 3 years. Give
It
them a
has.
title. Get
It,
them a
it,
title.
it has. Like I don't know. I think we said it a couple. We may have said it last week actually when we were talking about that. Um,
Hmm.
like you got team. You got like the Usos. You got the New Day. I don't think the Street Profits are like they're like the tier below them. Like I think like historically they've won every tag title on from NXT to like the
Yeah.
main roster Raw and SmackDown. Like let's give these guys their props and dues. Like they're a talented unit, both of them, and they're like it's the optimism I can give some, if any, is the fact that it is a new regime, right? But also I feel like there's a little bit more life, more so on SmackDown. You got a lot of talented tag teams in the division. You got Legato, you got DIY, you got Theory and Waller if they might not be a tag team for a while. Um,
Yeah.
you know, there's other teams too that I can't think off the top of my head at the moment, but
I
Right.
mean,
uh,
I can't think of a single reason why the Street Profits won't end up being a Hall of Fame tag team. I
they
think
should.
there's no doubt that's in the cards for the Street
Yeah.
Profits.
To to me, I feel like they're in the same like importance of tier of maybe above like the New Age Outlaws, right? Who are a Hall of Fame tag team.
Already in.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like they're like not. I mean, New Age Outlaw holds a place of nostalgia and all that. I think the Street Profits are they got the same like they're over it. Like I'm not saying you didn't say that, but like they're over as hell, right? They got people dancing,
Oh
jamming out. They
yeah.
got the Red Sox cups, but like then when the bell rings, like them two guys can work, and they work really good as
Yeah.
a tag team. But they're also both individually really good wrestlers. Like Angelo Dawkins is somebody that I used to think was like I don't know what this dude is back in NXT. The amount of like work he's putting himself literally in the Heart Foundation dojo
Yeah.
with Natty and TJ
Yep.
that I see online, right? Getting his health good, slimmed down a lot from when he was in NXT to now, and he's just really one of those guys you gotta tip your hat off to because he ain't running from the grind. He's really trying to become better, man. And I think no person is. You hear the voices, you hear the stuff you see online. Everyone always praises Tez, rightfully so, right? In regards to saying let's break them up. This is and it can make a person in a tag team feel like um or what, am I doing something wrong with my chopped liver, right? And I feel like
Yeah.
Right.
he's taking the initiative to show them
That
wrong.
that to me, I think the most impressive thing about the Street Profits is I think about like TLC one, three of the greatest tag teams of all time, right? The Dudleys, the Hardys, Edge and Christian. You can see a little bit of all three teams in the Profits,
Hmm.
right? You
Very
have
true.
you have the psychology, the powerhouse style with Dawkins and Montez can be powerful. He's not a small guy
Yeah.
for
Right.
how agile he is. Like the Dudleys, you've got the high flying ability like the Hardys. Then you have that gnarly it factor that Edge and Christian did and the psychology as
Yeah.
well, all lumped into one. And the fact that you can see all three teams in various ways in the profits themselves is like a testament to just how good those two dudes are.
Right.
Right. Yeah. No, I agree 100%. And yeah, like I said, man, for those who haven't seen it, uh, peep that match. It was a great TV match. SmackDown had some great matches tonight. Carmelo with Santos was good for the 950th time that they wrestled. I'm not gonna lie to you though, I was kind of a little teed off that Naomi lost in Orlando.
Yeah, I didn't
What we
understand that.
doing?
I
What we
That
doing?
was
I,
that was old school booking.
yeah,
did
it
not
was old school
understand that.
booking.
Although
I, ro-
according to
I
Total Divas, or Atlanta's her hometown. That
okay,
was her
but
whole thing in
Orlando,
season
but
9.
she was a magic dancer, right? So like that's
No,
kind of
she wasn't.
her.
She danced for the Atlanta Magic, but remember she used to go visit her uncle in Atlanta and was like, I feel like Atlanta's my home. That was like the big
Oh, my bad.
storyline in
I
season
ain't gonna
9.
lie to you.
I'm sorry. I watched that reality show back in the day. It was like a
I
whole
ain't really
thing.
watched the Total Divas like that. I just know I saw like a short or a reel of like Jimmy uh getting mad at her because she was like this supposed to be on a diet or something, and she was like trying to eat like
Oh
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
she's
secret cake or
taking all the.
something.
that was a wild one. Oh, and then the other episode where she had to do all the stones, the rhinestones on the outfit for Mania, I think it was, or the Rumble,
Oh man, oof, that's
because like she had to do it herself overnight. That was like a big one. And I forget who it was that came over and like saved the day and helped her out. But it was big ups. I watched that show with my mom. Shout out my mom.
yeah, nah, but it was a solid SmackDown. I will say they definitely fixed the problem that we was debating last week. Um, this week, so a lot of women on tonight's episode, which is great to see. But I'm still not happy that Naomi lost, even though I do like Blair Davenport. But it is what it is. That's all the time we have today, though, guys. we running extra long, but hey, man, this is always fun. Sunday Spotlight. We'll see y'all next week. Peace.